And we are live. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Welcome to another RSG Jedi Academy. I'm your host, Ranger J 1999. Glad to have you guys here for for one of the longest running Q&A shows I've been a part of. And if you're new and wondering what the hell this is where we talk shop about Star Wars Galaxy heroes. And this is a straight Q&A show where we bring the best and the brightest of content creators, and then we sprinkle in our mental damage of RSG to the mix, and then we create this program where you can just submit your questions and we will answer them. And the way it works is if you have a question for the panel, all you have to do is put question in front of your statement and put that in the chat and we will scoop it up. Again, I must emphasize, you must put question in front of your statement. A lot of people don't get their question asked. They're like, you missed my question. Like, well, you didn't follow the rules, so that's on you, not us. So don't get angry with us because you didn't listen. But make sure you put the word question in front of your statement, and then we will get that scooped up. And then Dr. Finn will be going through all the questions and getting them to all the different panelists and stuff like that. Dr. Finn, how are you this morning, my friend?
I am alive.
He's a lot better. We suffered through yesterday the developer Q&A, so that was
Yeah, I couldn't do my normal
no
non-modulated crumb, so I had to go with my my synthesized crumb.
That's right, and it worked. It worked very well.
It worked. There's always a backup.
Yes, that's right. So let's introduce the rest of the panel. I'm just gonna go just down the line here. First up, who looks like he just stuck his finger in a light socket, is good old Maurice.
Thank you for saying something.
What?
Good old Maurice. Do you need...
Oh, snap. How's everybody doing? I forgot that was on, I guess.
There he is with that blue ribbon hat on.
I like that. I like the hat.
It was fantastic. Yes, I like the hat, and I like the fact that you were like, I don't care.
I like the hair without the hat too. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
either way, girl,
it was styled. You know, I don't know. It didn't look like it had product in it.
I usually wake up just in time for these. So I'm like sitting here in my like pajamas with no shirt on. I don't usually have a camera on for this. So, hello.
Well, we're glad we do. Yes, and if people know, people know good old Maurice, the well dancer extraordinaire. So there he is. So also join us all the way up from Canada, the lovely, wonderful, beautiful T Money G is here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
She's actually awake and alive.
I am. I have not slept yet. I just put my pajamas on. It's bedtime in a couple hours.
and just for the folks out there, yes, those are Flash pajamas.
Yeah,
that's
they're
right.
my Flash.
I know, Flash. Yeah. Also joining us from the Northeast, the man, the myth, the legend himself. It's been a long time since he's been on, but he's up, he's about, he's functioning. He's got coffee. The one and only Riemann Azab.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on? But there's Riemann. There he is, looking all beautiful.
You are. You're looking hot. You're looking hot there, buddy.
I got
your red on red.
I got the red on red situation. I realized it totally doesn't make any sense going on. Yeah,
I dig it. It's awesome.
You do you, buddy. That's right. You do whatever you want to do, buddy.
It's all sifted out over here.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel ya bloody.
He's just a big floating head.
That's right. And speaking of a big floating head, look at that Punim. It's Warrior, the one and only. Look at that guy. All right. Oh, guy, that's too much. Okay, you're gonna make me throw up. All right, stop it. Getting like Tourette's or something over here watching that. There he is, the man from Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. Warrior is here. And Warrior, we're glad to still have you. I know it's been because there's really nothing that was put out by CG this week. We can talk about what's going on with you.
There's something going on with Warrior?
Yeah, something happened this week, Finn, that happened to us while we were
Warrior,
live.
what is going on with you?
Yes,
what is this
yes, Warrior, what happened?
I just woke up.
Okay, you just woke up.
Yeah, I retired from the game, both accounts, hung them up, mothballed them, in fact, so they'll become irrelevant. I'm not having anybody go in and secretly, do daily logins or get Zetas or anything silly like that. They're just totally mothballed. So, yeah, quitting the game.
How you feeling about it so far? How's that crack addiction going away with the withdrawal?
It really good. Lots and lots and lots and lots of new time. So like, I'm like, where's all this time coming from? Like, what's going on? You know, what? I had no idea I had so much time in my life. So that's kind of crazy. There's a lot of time during the day that I didn't realize I actually had. A lot of YouTube notifications, a lot of Discord chats about the game, a lot of, YouTube, chats, just a lot of just notifications on my phone. I mean, thousands of notifications, game related, inside of the YouTube or not YouTube, but Facebook, trying to keep up with conversations on the game in there. And I mean, just literally game related content just flooded my phone. You give that up and it's like all that kind of just and it's like, wow, I don't do anything in life. Or at least that's how it feels, because your digital content goes down. Digital content is crazy how much time it absorbs, how much a few hours is. It's really crazy.
So yep, and we're sorry to see you go. I cried a little bit on, not like that. I was just upset, like, God damn it, he didn't tell me first. No, it's funny. It was Monday. We're doing the lunch stream, and all of a sudden someone said, "Hey, Warrior just quit." I'm like, "Ha ha! Shut the nice joke! Ha 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 ha!" Okay, I'm not falling for that one. I may have been born, but it wasn't yesterday. And they're like, "No, he really did." I went to the Reddit. I'm like, "Oh, okay, he did." I was like, wow. I was like, that's because it really was like right after I think your Reddit had gone up. So I'm sad to see you go, but I totally understand your reasoning. So but Warrior's going to be with us for a little while here still in Jedi Academy, hanging out with us and answering your questions. So get those questions in, everybody. I see everybody in chat. Good morning to all you wonderful folks out there. So let's get into it. We usually talk about what's on our mind for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, but while we get the questions in, but let's talk about this Q&A yesterday. Now, if you guys don't know, me and Finn did our every time they do a Q&A, me and Finn do a live reenactment of the live Q&A, and I actually paused a couple times in my character of one of the developers. And because I was like, did they just really say that? I was like, what the hell is going on? Finn, it was kind of, we learned there's Poe coming, and I don't really know what else we learned yesterday.
We learned that CG continues to not understand what a live Q&A should be. I mean, there was the post at the top where Crumb is editing and talking about where things, like where they are and what the status is. And I think the last sentence on the one with the edit where they closed it out was, "I want to thank all of the devs for taking out from their lunchtime to answer this Q&A." And I'm just like, there is nothing about this that any of us would have known that it was a live Q&A, aside from the fact that you telling us. Like, literally, they're just copy and pasting responses. They could have had these responses for a week, and no one would have known the difference. So it was really kind of silly.
So,
please. They certainly had these. They certainly had. There's no way you can produce this much, cohesive, coherent content in that. Like, this is huge. It's like thousands of words here. Of course, they prepared this before.
Not according to that. Like Crumb, they took out from their lunch break in order to answer these questions.
Their lunch break to copy and paste.
Right.
Because that takes a lot of time. Like, just to sit here and monitor everything and monitor what's going on. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that they did it beforehand, but there's just no way that they didn't. Like, I've worked communications for 20 years, and
I'm just wondering. Like, I'm just
be run by the boss. This has got to, no way.
We got several pieces of bad news, though.
Yeah, go for it, Finn.
They're not increasing the mod cap.
No.
Apparently, that's nowhere in their priority list because they don't understand the importance of mods, apparently, in this game. so that was on the list.
Boy, Finn's upset. That's the fastest I've ever heard you speak. You're upset this morning, boy. You were okay.
Well, because
I've said it before. CG would do themselves a service by just stopping these live Q&As. They don't really help anything besides showing how, like, disconnected they are from the player base with all of their responses.
They don't really say
And
anything.
they don't say anything. Everyone, like, this one was maybe the worst one because I haven't heard as many of this. This was the most softball of the Q&As. I've never heard that as much as this last one. So it's just kind of disappointing. I don't think this is doing them any kind of service, and it just shows the disconnect. So
Yeah.
for their own sake,
I'm not being like facetious, but would you rather have these worthless Q&As or no communication at all? Because we've had that too.
I would rather have no communication
Yeah,
rather than this.
we're-
To be
we're-
honest.
Serious question. I
Why
wanna-
does it have to be so weird? Like, you can get a shit sandwich or no shit sandwich.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be one way or the other? Why can't it be like, hey, we're going to just talk to you on, a chat like a normal company, like other companies do? You know what I mean? Like, why
We've
can't
asked
why
for that.
can't it be just like, hey, we spend an hour a day, typing, answering questions like a normal company on a thing? Why does it have to be like, here's a load of bunch of questions that we answered yesterday that we're going to say we did on our lunch today that are off the cuff, but they really aren't off the cuff. And here's the answers. And it's like, what happened to this? Oh, broken. What happened to this? Oh, broken. What happened to this? Oh, it's still broken. What about Christmas packs? That was my favorite. That was my favorite thing. They're like,
Oh,
what
yeah, I
happened
forgot
to
about that.
Christmas? How come you didn't give us a Christmas gift? And they're like, we don't celebrate Christmas, and neither does Star Wars. Why would you do Christmas stuff? And it's like, are you kidding me? You don't celebrate Christmas? I think you do, because you didn't holiday packs.
Yeah,
And
because you guys disappeared for a month. You guys disappeared for a month.
You celebrated Christmas Eve. You celebrated Christmas Day. You celebrated the day after Christmas. You celebrated the day after Christmas. You celebrated New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I mean, they celebrated with a pack every single day. They were like, buy the $1.99 pack, the $4.99 pack, the $9.99 pack.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, we have a $49.99 pack. Celebrate the holidays with us. I mean,
And not to mention, Urs freaking celebrated Life Day for the entirety of the month of December. Like, Star Wars has their own equivalent of Christmas they could have celebrated if they really wanted to. It's called Life Day. Like, it's there.
To make matters worse, Star Wars celebrated Christmas. Like, they have a Christmas special. So, like, and this is the other thing. To make matters worse, like, okay, let's say I'm Muslim. Let's say I'm Jewish. Give me 250 crystals. Do you really think I'm going to be like, whoa, that Christian, stupid Christian holiday, they give me 250 crystals for it? Why? Why do you give me this? Take it back. I don't want this.
Or just say Happy Holidays.
I'm seriously.
Or Happy New Year, or
Happy holidays. We love every religious ethnicity. Here's your free stuff. Or just say,
or give us stuff. Give us stuff on Hanukkah and
Just
Holi
give us
and,
stuff with no religious bearing
just
whatsoever.
give
Yeah,
us
just say
stuff,
Happy
man.
Holidays. No matter what you celebrating or not celebrating.
Or they could be like, when you've got that like weird religious uncle that you don't know what religious affiliation he is, but he doesn't believe in holidays, so he doesn't believe in giving you gifts. But then, like, on this random day in like December, it's like December 13th,
Mhm.
he like says, "Can I take your son out for a special day? But it can't be, any special holiday." And then he goes and buys you a gift, and you're like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "No special reason, because he doesn't want it to be for the holidays." They could be like coy about it and hook us up still.
I know. It was so. Buy lots of packs, but we don't want to celebrate the
I have
amount
to say
of
though.
packs.
I have to say though, we're bitching about not getting a pack at Christmas. No wonder they don't put anything toothy in these live Q&As, because we go nuts. Like, we go nuts over anything. Right now we're going nuts over the fact that there wasn't any content in there, but what if they said something that we didn't like? Then we'd be going nuts over that, and they'd have to deal with us. We are really,
Well,
I mean, can you imagine how annoying it would be to deal with this community?
That's what they're
on a regular
paid to-
basis
that's
if
what
you
they're
are the
paid to
company
do.
providing this?
T-Money. That's what
Yeah,
they're paid to do.
I don't know if they're.
Yes,
I don't
they
know
are.
if
T-Money,
we're passionate. Star Wars fans are extremely
I
passionate.
know.
We're extremely polarized about so many different things. Even in the community, there's people like, I want this, I want, we're not aligned. And, no wonder they don't put out super interesting content, because if it's interesting, we're going to have something to say about it, and then they're going to have work.
That's fine.
to do.
One, get thick skin. Two, you and I are both communications people, T-Money, and the way they do their communication with this Q&A is ridiculous. We're doing a Q&A show right now. We don't have the budget CG does. We're just sitting here as a group of people that are passionate about the game. We've somehow managed to put up like a way for us to interact live with the fans, where they're actually putting questions in. We're somehow able to get those questions in real time and get through all the questions and answer them the way we want to answer them, right? Mm-hmm. CG could do the same thing. I've always been blown away that the fact that they, one, don't have their own YouTube channel, which they could be using as a promotional tool for marketing purposes, where they could put out information and videos and things that like some of the, like what you guys do. And two, that they don't, like once a week, have one person just sit there and answer. Now, sometimes you can answer.
It's so hard though. Like I can
not.
say poop. I can say poop as much as I want on here, because I'm not accountable to anyone. If I accidentally say the word poop, like, you could probably get me in trouble. You might not let me on your show anymore, but
get out of here.
like,
yeah, we're not gonna let you on the show anymore.
Like, it's for like to actually go live as a communicator. Like, I've been on live TV before. It's so stressful. It's
and
so
radio,
you have to have like and radio. Like you have to. It takes a lot of skill, and the people answering these
other gaming
questions
companies
are artists and developers, and
companies do it.
They're not. I don't know if they're public speakers. I mean, we've
like,
heard some of them, and they're very good, but
I
not all.
I have a really good idea, right? What you could do, what CG could do, instead of doing these developer Q&As, is they could develop this program, right, where they collaborate with individuals who are really good at speaking to the public. Right?
Yeah.
This is brilliant.
And they could periodically fly these people out to California to get a better idea of what's going on with the game.
Sure.
And then they could kind of give these guys a little bit of early access to some of the stuff that's coming up.
Oh.
That they can develop a proper way to kind of communicate this information to the community.
That's
okay.
What would you call this?
It would
be really game changing.
It'd be
if they had something like that.
Yeah,
it would be game changing if they had something like that.
I like this idea. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Just a thought,
That's a really good idea. I like that. Maybe we should put that plan in action.
That's a good one.
Here's another. So you won't see it now if you go to the dev Q&A, but anyone that was watching at the time knows that it was there. Do you realize they had a section called quality of life, and they didn't put a single question in that entire category? And since went back and removed quality of life from that forum post, it's not there. Like, no, if you're looking at it now, nobody knows. But they had quality of life, 0 questions. Meanwhile, there's like 15 art questions. Like, this is what they're doing, T. Sometimes the quality is also as important as the content that they're putting out, and their quality on their Q&A sucks.
Yeah, no, I have, I don't really look at the Q&As unless someone's like, did you see that? I'm like, I'll go look, I'll scan them, but
it's hard.
It's just, it's fluff because, and I will add, we are a very small kind of, we're fanatical. We love this game so much. We love our community so much. There's a lot of people who are on these forums who are just like, oh, interesting, something about the game that I play casually, so it might be relevant to some people that I don't know. I'm just trying to, maybe
no, it's a good way to look at it, playing devil's
advocate. The world
advocate.
through rose-colored glasses. Yeah. I don't know, but like, I guess I don't. I can understand why they don't poke us all, because we're all bears,
This is a $1 billion company almost, and they can afford to have some people. I mean, hire T-Money for Christ's sakes. I mean, do something where you can have professional people that do communication, and just pay them $80,000 a year, nothing crazy, and then you just they can be your liaison. People that do communications for a living know what to say, how to say it, and that's what they do for a living. They have that thick skin. They're like, I can do this. I answer the fans with what I can. Or, some of the responses I would love to see if they were doing it like, I don't know the answer to that question, but let me go find out and we'll get back to you later on. Because sometimes that's a legitimate answer. Or I can't talk about that right now, but if you just be patient with us, that kind of communication for the fans works because they're like, okay, at least I know something's coming along the way. They're not, skirting it or so. There's just ways to do it, right? So, good, Maurice, did you have your hands up?
Again, this is the goofy stuff I do on Jedi.
I was looking like
my cameraman
like, are we in class?
Totally busted.
Good old Maurice.
Did you raise your hand to speak?
No. Just don't. I'm blushing now. Don't even worry about it. It's just being weird. Sorry. It's okay.
All right. So let's. Jesus Christ. Good old Maurice, you're the best, man.
This is
out of my nose.
the way a Q&A should be. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What were we going to say, good old Maurice?
I say what the viewers don't know is actually everyone that asks questions on this Jedi Academy is actually an employee of RSG, and all these questions that are coming in are pre-organized and everyone scripted. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's actually just all me on different accounts.
Yeah. Wait till Captain T Money shows up.
We have offered the services
yeah.
of. We've offered the services of RSG Communication Liaison Services to them. Now they're just doing their own Q&A. They don't.
I do actually find it kind of ridiculous that they don't hire somebody that is just like a communications expert that is really good at like just talking to people and relaying information, because it does seem kind of weird that they kind of stick this person, and this is across like the gaming industry. I find this to be something that happens all the time. They just find this person who's part of the development team that isn't exactly necessarily good at relaying data, that that doesn't understand how to calm people down and how to keep people like T Money was saying. It's like you just kind of need to sometimes go out there and be like, guys, listen, we're assessing the situation, we're going to figure it out, and it's going to be all right. Everybody calm down. We got things under control. Just somebody like that, like a unified voice that kind of just speaks for the developer and isn't their main job isn't something else. Their job is to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that would be, I think that would be a good thing. That's the same thing that happened with like the game, like Anthem, for example. Like when that game had all those problems last year, there was just lack of communication. And if they had like, I know that Jesse, who used to be the community manager for Galaxy Heroes, is the community manager for that game. And, I don't know if they were specifically telling him not to come out there and say anything, because that's the thing too. EA could tell him like, listen, don't just keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? But if it was, I think anybody with that would think about like the way that goes down as a whole, when you just don't speak at all, would understand that like you got to at least go out there and say, hey, listen, we're kind of thinking about things, and we'll have more information next week. Just something like that would go a long way. Sometimes like, I deal with customers all the time. Sometimes just giving the customer a call to say, hey, listen, I don't have an answer, but I'm thinking about you, and we'll be back in touch with you as soon as I do have an answer, goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I kind of look at it like, for a lot of people that have invested a lot of money in this game, like you, Remon, and you, Warrior, stuff like that, I kind of view you guys a little bit like stockholders. Now, when you're in a company and the stockholders come for their monthly or quarterly meeting, they can ask whatever the damn thing they want because they've invested in that company, right? And I don't care who you are, the CEO or whatever. You have to stand up there and give them the answers that they want. Or if you don't know, find out the answer for them, because these are the people that invest your money. So communication to anybody that does anything in your company, whether it's a customer or a stockholder or anything like that, it's just part of the nature of business. You have to have that communication. Sometimes you don't always have the answer, because that's not a fair way of holding somebody accountable. Like, you must know everything and every time I answer a question. And sometimes you can't give information, right? Trade secrets, things like that nature. And that's on the fans. Like T-Money said, we can be a little fanatical. We have to be reasonable too with our expectations about what is what is it they can say and know that, well, can you tell me what 3 new characters are coming in the next 3 months? No, they're not going to tell you 3 months, and you should not act, you should get upset if they don't tell you that kind of stuff. But like when, say, bugs are out there, you can say, we're working on it, this is kind of the timeline we're looking at, we may hit it, we may not. That's a legitimate answer. But don't even do that, so... but yeah, I just found it fascinating. We always have a good conversation based around this.
What we got out of that is that they have lots and lots of bugs in the game that they haven't fixed yet.
No.
They confirmed at least a dozen bugs that they are aware of, that they were asked about, that they have not fixed. They confirmed 1 new character that's coming into the game, and they also confirmed oceans and oceans of new characters and ships for 2020. When I heard oceans, all I heard was like dollars, like
Yes.
like an ocean of dollars, an ocean of dollars. I was like, because every character is like, it used to be like $100 a character, and then it went to like 300 a character, and now it's like the really good character is like 1,500 plus another 1,000 gear crunch or relic crunch, and then when they up the mods, because they're going to raise the mods to like 6D. They won't do it to 6A because that they can take you to D, then C, then B. So
Right.
you guys are going to go to 6D next.
Mm.
Yeah, have fun with that. You're going to go to 6D next, and you guys, there's going to be a lot of money investment into that. And all I could hear when they said oceans and oceans of new characters and ships was just, oh man, either there's going to be all these like meta changing characters that I can't play with, which that sounds not fun, or I'm going to have to spend a lot of money to keep up, and neither one of those sounded fun. So
Yeah.
that was a little bit disheartening. It'd be cool if they were like, hey, and we've got oceans of new characters, and we're going to be trying some new stuff. Not only are we going to have the marquees, and we're going to have some, new content, but we're also going to be doing a couple of straight to farm characters, for the free to play as well, which is going to be fun for not only the whales, but for the free to play. It's going to be kind of neat. We're going to have some ships that are straight to farm as well. They're going to be a part of the journeys. So you'll have some that you have to, this, and some that you have to that. And then the part that made me saddest is for all of you that are waiting for those new characters. The movie, the like hype's over, man. The hype train has died. The movie was cool. That was December. This is January. It's January, like what, 11th or 12th? I don't know anymore. We're in the middle of January now, and they're like, "Why can't we do Rey and the new Rey and Kylo?" And they're like, "Well, the new Rey and Kylo, you'll know something in a couple of weeks, and it's because we want to do it right, and we want to give you plenty of time to farm everything you need."
I know. I was about to bring that up.
If you're going to give us plenty of time to farm 15 characters, which I don't believe they're going to give you plenty of time, but if they are, that's 3 months. That's plenty of time, which means it's going to be April before they actually bring out the events for Kylo and Rey. I'm like, man, that's a long time to wait for something that came out from a movie in December. I don't know. It just seems like a huge lag, a really, really long lag. But I think the oceans and oceans of characters means you guys are going to finally get pirates, so that'll be exciting.
That's good for Team Money.
What are they supposed to say though? They're definitely, what are they going to come out and be like? Listen, guys, we're going to have around the same amount of content as we did last year, or less, probably.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they're going to have to say we have tons of things coming to the game. They're trying to get you excited about the new year. So it's just a bunch of smoke, you know what I mean? But
best thing they could say is, you know what? 2019 was a bump. We're going to be like 2016 and 2017.
Yeah.
We're going to be like 2016 and 2017.
We're bringing things back. We're bringing things back to 2016.
Well, the thing about that, those 2 new characters, they said, well, we're not going to create a panic farm, and I'm like, wait, what? I mean, when me and Finn saw that, we are like, wait. So wait a minute. We're pretty sure that the new Sith Trooper and Hux and Finn and Poe, which we know Poe's coming, are going to be in the game. So unless you're going to do something crazy that you've never done before with these characters, how could you not create a panic farm? And then we thought about it. Wait a minute.
This entire game is a panic
It
farm.
was like, I don't think they understand what the Panic Farm is.
What does the word panic farm mean?
I mean, that
Yeah,
might
it's
be,
like Panic.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead,
ahead, T.
T-Money.
I was just gonna say that might be code for we're gonna put these in the journey guide right away, which we talked about on our stream this past week as not being a very favorable thing to the free-to-play player, because if the characters go in the journey guide right away, they can kind of spin that as like, chill out, it's there whenever you want it. Well, yeah, it's there whenever you want it. And so the pressure of, can you imagine all of the General Skywalkers that would have hit the shards if it was if it was just an open event? You would have 2, 3, 4, 10. It would just be, you'd start getting put back on your heels and start wanting to shell out some dollars so that you could reach first place in arena or wherever your arena tipping point is. So
Yeah.
I don't know, that's scary. That's a scary thought to me.
Yes.
But I think part of the go ahead, Rima.
One thing that I just wanted to touch on about the developer Q&A that I found kind of disheartening was the abilities, the relic abilities, right? I mean, they cut. I mean, what the hell, right? I mean, like you sold relics with abilities, right? So like, I mean, like you can't make a commercial that basically says like, hey, when you get to tier 7. You get a special ability for each character,
Later,
and then say, yeah, we're just not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
Riemann, I will counter you with this. How long did the graphic art of Galaxy of Heroes have a Luke with a lightsaber, and how long in the game did it take us to get CLS before we actually had it?
I get it, but I mean, like,
they've done this for years now.
That's such a ridiculous practice, though. You can't just sell, relics, saying like, "Oh, listen, if you get to relic 7, you're going to get an ability."
Unlock, and then, that was
and
a
even
part
if you
of
do
the
that, you say, "Okay, hold off for a couple months. We're working on the abilities." But then now you say basically like they basically just
put it
brush
on the
it
back
aside.
burner. Yeah, put it on the back burner. I was like, okay, cool, fine. All right, let's start getting to the questions. They're coming in fast and furious. I'm going to let Finn take over. Finn, we'll just, if you want, I don't know, whoever you want to start
Well, before we get to the questions, I do want to thank all of our panelists from taking time away from their breakfast time in order to answer questions for everybody in the chat. So we appreciate it. All right.
Stop sucking up, Finn. Get on with it.
Fine, right. T-Money, you suck. Get out of here. We don't.
Let's find some ship questions for T-Money.
Hold on.
Let's find some ship, T-Money.
No, stop.
She is a pirate captain. Give her all.
All right. The first question, T-Money, from Kane77. He says, "What was the worst farm you have had in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?" Mine were Shore and Shakti.
Okay, Baze. I will say that Baze is my most embarrassing farm. It was back in TW. The Wolfpack has always adored TW, and it was back in the day where it's like, CLS needs Baze. Like, we need Baze. Can't believe you don't have Baze. And so I finally gave in and farmed all of his shards. And then I was so tired of farming gear for him. I actually, before a TW, I spent like $200.
Oh, wow.
Just like dropped it on Baze and Chura. I think maybe the both of them, or maybe just Baze, so that I could put him in TW. So that's my most shameful farm. I don't know if that was what you were looking for. My hardest farm was probably just organizing all of the Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan, requirements. That was, spreadsheet. I didn't have spreadsheets. I should have had spreadsheets. I did the math, but. Yeah.
I can say for me, gas has been a nightmare. It is so ridiculous. If you did not, again, get one with, especially the shenanigans they pulled lately with the light side GOTB and getting no get one, right? And stuff. Oh my God. I'm almost done with them. And I swear, I'm just going to hoard get one, because I will never believe CG again when they say, we're not going to introduce any new characters with this stuff. And again, what about you? Let's go around everybody. Gom, your hardest farm, most annoying farm you've had to deal with?
I just finished it, Embo.
Oh, yeah, Embo.
Yeah, you've been working on Embo for an annoying amount of time.
God, I got to 91, and it took me an additional 3 weeks to get to 100. It was so infuriating. Every day, 0, 0, 0, 1. fortunately, he wasn't a mandatory character for anything. He was more of a, I've got the luxury of spending some energy on characters I don't really need. But he's finally done. I had all the gear ready for him because hell, it took me, a year and a half to finish him. So I had plenty of gear to put on him. So it was that's good. I'm just onto the Vulture droid now, so I'm sure that'll take.
Oh, I'm Vulture droid. It's awful.
Yeah,
it's an Emperor shuttle.
I'm just
awful.
ignoring that altogether.
I'm doing ships right now because there's no characters in the game that I need to farm. So I'm working on ships, and God, the drop rate sucks. Good Lord. Even Ebon Hawk, like I use crystals on some of the Cantina, and good Lord, the drop rate is poop, man. It's so poop. What about you, Warrior? What's been the one farm that you're just like, I never want to do that again? Oh, Warrior's on the move.
It was First Order TIE Pilot. First Order TIE Pilot.
God.
Yeah, but back in the day, we only had, he had the one node or two nodes, but there was no like refreshing. There was no like 5 attempts or anything. It was like 3 attempts. 3 attempts 3 times a day. It was just like boop boop boop. You get 1 shard a day. It took like 8 months to get 1 character up, and I don't know. I remember farming that guy for 8 months, and I haven't used him in over.
Yeah. What about you, Rimon?
Well, I mean, I agree with Warrior on the First Order TIE Pilot situation, because that was definitely also disheartening, because by the time you got First Order TIE Pilot, he was totally irrelevant in the game, like completely irrelevant by that point. But besides FOTP, if you're talking about like a more recent farm, I would say the worst still is Enfys Nest for me, because Enfys Nest. Enfys Nest is in a location where there's always something more important that you have to farm elsewhere. So like you start farming Enfys Nest, and then 2 days later they drop Shock T in there. So you're like, oh damn it, I got to spend all my energy on Shock T, and then they drop Anakin Starfighter in there. It's like, god damn it, now I got to go farm Anakin Starfighter. It's like I never get to farm Enfys Nest. So now I'm finally wrapping that up. But man, I mean, I don't know how you guys, and everybody's like, you don't have a 7-star Enfys Nest, you suck at this game. And you're right.
I don't think I have a 7-star Enfys
How
Nest.
dare you, T-Money?
Okay, I need to ask, Ramon, you're like, a lore, you're a lore guy. Is that how you say her name?
Enfys Nest? There's so many ways you could say different names. I mean, I used to say Bastila, and it's like Bastila. I mean, it's there's.
Okay,
but
that's cool. It's not like I say her name in the movie. Right?
I don't exactly. I don't really consider any of these new movies lore yet. I'm saying they're lore, but I mean, Enfys Nest is not really like
It's she's a bandit.
She's a bandit. Okay, she's just a bandit.
She's a scoundrel. Right? We love her. She's that 5 character.
I think it's Enfys Nest.
Enfys Nest.
The Enfys?
Yes. Yeah. There's this thing called Wikipedia, and if you want to know how to pronounce the names, they actually do the thing where you can like break down how you say the name. So they do that in all the games. So if you want to know, just go to Wikipedia. Because trust me, I know when I've done some lore videos, I made sure I was like, "How is this pronounced?" and actually looked it up.
I didn't mean to call anyone out.
No, it's a good. It's a good question. It's a good question.
Star Wars is one of those pieces of content too that were one of those where like the names are like really a big deal, right? Like so, it's like they always find like some cool names for Star Wars characters. So it's like the pronunciation is important.
Yeah, it is. All right, Finn, who are you going to next? Next question, please.
All right. We have another around the panel question here. So let's start with Rimon this time, as he was the last one. So he says, what was your favorite non-meta team? Mine are the Imperial Troopers.
Finn, check your connection. You're kind of going in and out there, buddy.
Oh, am I?
My favorite non-meta team, right now?
Correct.
My favorite non-meta team is probably the First Order, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I know that they're in some cases somewhat meta, but I really like Kylo Ren I just can't really.
Kylo Ren.
Or like Kylo Ren. You know, I'd say either First Order or First Order, or you know, I'm a fan of like I'm still a fan of like that Danger Zone team, that Wigs team.
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone.
What about you, Warrior? What's your comfy team?
I know that some people would say that they're meta, but the Geos, I've always had a thing for the Geos, even when they were terrible and you only use them for ships.
Yeah.
I would always tell people in their roster reviews, you have to farm them. I'm sorry. If you want to be good at ships, you got to get, you know, the Geos. And people would be like, damn you, Warrior. and then one day they reworked them and they were like, you know, one of the top, like, you know, 6 teams in the entire game. And they're like beating JKR and stuff. And they're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I listened to you 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, we got to get Warrior on camera more, man. His face is so animated, man. It's amazing. I love it. I know, right? This is what we see when we're not streaming. This is the true Warrior. You're getting the true Warrior now. The veil has been lifted. The true Warrior, the comedic legend, is here. It's wonderful. Good old Maurice.
I'm not just a pretty voice.
Look up at the screen. My favorite. I would say anything with Churiyute Imwe.
He's saved that for so long. He wrote it down somewhere on his desk.
Churiyute. No, I do like a lot of the various scoundrel comps. Like kind of the Kira. I really like Young Han as a character. I like using him a lot. Characters like Biston I've always found a use for that not many people really use. I like him. I actually like Vet Han. I like a lot of the obscure scoundrels. You know, if you clock them properly, they're all kind of useful. They're by no means meta. I'm actually developing Phasma to go along with my Hux. So Phasma is a character I've, you know, generally pooped on for the last 4 years publicly, and now I'm sitting here farming her, trying to take her to Gear 13. I think she just pairs really, really well with Hux. So stuff like that. I got a lot of use out of Zam Wessel lead actually in this 3-3, so that was kind of fun. Zam Wessel lead was good.
I meant to tell you that I tried that and it failed miserably. So thank you for that advice.
Talking about epic fails, Good Maurice was with me when I tried the Greedo, Han, and Chewie team.
Okay. He told me about that. I did not recommend that. I said, isn't this a cool looking team?
I thought it was a cool looking team too. I went in there like, dude, I'm gonna kick some ass. T-Money did it. I can do it too. It should have worked. We just had bad RNG with it.
I just stole a screenshot from somebody's GSC.
Yeah, we went back and looked at it. I missed killing Watt on that first round by 1 health. I was like, get the hell out of here, because this would have worked perfectly if it hadn't been for that. So it was just bad luck.
Did you remove the protection arrow off of Han?
Protection arrow off of Han? Who's running a protection arrow on Han?
Okay.
You're messing with
saying your Han's a little wuss is what I'm saying.
Oh well, no, yeah.
This is like good old Maurice's question, by the way. Yeah. I mean, I know he was like, oh please, I hope they ask me what my favorite team is. That's not meta.
What about you, T? What's that one little comfy team that's not meta that you like to run around with?
I mean, the obvious answer is the Night Sisters. I love how I think that CG really has to design characters around the Night Sisters not killing them, right? Yeah. Because they kill everything. Darth Revan was the first meta that was not beatable with the Night Sisters, and it was only after they added Malik. People were taking down Darth Revan with Night Sisters as long as they were fast enough. And so, you know, when Gas came around and you can't get health off of anybody hiding behind him, the first thing that came to mind was just, I was proud of the sisters, you know, driving the meta to be a certain way. So they're such a cool faction. I didn't realize it really when they first came out. What a neat mechanic. Plague is, and so yeah, I really do like those guys.
Okay, I can say for me, it's the Imperial Troopers. I still love them. I always, when I'm doing GAC, will look at people's speed and like, all right, you want to put down a 260 boss? Get ready to be troopered. And I say it all the time. And troopers, when they get up there, do insane damage. You just have to have the right mods of speed. And when someone doesn't do speed, because I've got my Stark over 300 once with Veers and stuff, so he goes first, and they're still a fun team for me to kind of go in there when someone's got a team on defense that it's the right setup and stuff, but they just can't outspeed them. Then I'll be like, okay, bounty hunters, prepare to get troopered. Oh, first order, you're slow. Well, here comes the Imperial Troopers. So I still like playing with that team as much as possible. And since I got Range Trooper is like a game changer for that team. He's so good. Finn, we know yours is Ewok, so let's move on.
Okay.
We already
You're not wrong.
know. He's not, I'm not. I know Finn. Listen, that's my head.
Ewoks. The Ewoks are so much fun because
They are.
they're not just about like the damage. They're about making sure you use them correctly for turn meter manipulation. It's one of the most fun teams in the game for me.
And they're about caring.
Don't yell at
Guys,
me.
they're about hugs. They're about hugs and kisses,
You're about
guys.
to lose a friend over an Ewok.
You are a Ewok, T.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
am.
Yeah.
I
haven't forgotten.
I wasn't criticizing you, Finn. I was criticizing Ranger for being like,
Okay.
"Oh, we know about you. We're not gonna let you talk about you."
No, that's just what we do. All right, skip Finn. Next question, Finn. Pick a person.
All right. Next question from Zombie. Let's give this to T Money and we'll start going around the corn here or with the panel. So, Zombie's question for you, T Money. I have all tunes for gas at gear 12 with the Zetas. What are the ones that I need at gear 13 or higher to get the job done and not break my phone?
Well, the and not break your phone part really depends on your mods, right?
Yes.
Because your characters can be another 10, 20, 30% better if you have the mods. You're going to have to move mods, suck it up, and do it. Now, I think Good Maurice has his way that he beat the last level. I have my way that I beat the last level, and I'm sticking to my guns on that one. It's kind of weird. It's high offense on B2. B2 goes a lot during that phase, and you just need the offense to get that other team down. If he's going to get targeted, he's going to die. So it's going to be those times where he doesn't die, and you can just use him for the damage to get the other team down. So what I have, which is kind of I did it about 7 or 8 times before I beat it. And it was only about 3 or 4 times after I figured out the B2 piece. And I have a relic. I think I have a relic 6 Ventress. I don't know if she was 5 or 6. I might have taken her up a relic level, and which is totally worth it. She is so badass. She gets evasion. She has 14. Mine has 14.5% evasion. So 1 out of every 5 times she's like, dodging. And then I had B2 at 4. So those are the 2 that I had. But I have pretty good mods, right? I have 170 15 plus mods. So it really depends what kind of mods you have. And for that, you need a lot of speed on Ventress, but you also need the offense too on everybody. So you might need to go a couple of relic levels higher if you don't get that. I have the Zeta Androidica, but everyone else was gear 12 at the time that I did that.
But if you just want to go in there and just auto sauce the whole thing, like
You cannot auto sauce, Remon. We talked about
What
that.
do
You
you
can't
gotta do?
use 3-dot mods, and you can't go in there with crit damage or crit chance on Kenobi. Stop it.
What do you got to do?
There's people who are struggling even with multiple gear 13 characters. It's really the luck of the draw for me. It was my Ventress that saved me. She was like 1-on-1 versus Gas, and Druidica was with her, and she was like,
"Oh, you had it." There,
Gas came at her. She was like,
"Oh, I like that little movement." Oh, look at sound effects.
yeah. I was like, "Yeah, girl, you go."
Very nice.
She took him down. I think she took him down at the end. Druidica died, and then she got him, and she was not full health. Yeah,
yes.
it was skin of the teeth sort of thing.
I know.
So.
Well, 15 hours for me.
Question?
Yeah.
Whoever asked that question, if you message me on Discord, I found both hers and mine, both of our approaches in their Discord. So I'll be more than happy to copy and paste them for you.
Yeah, I have 15 hours of material if you need to go back and look at it of of what not to do, and then you can just skip to the very end and be like, "Oh, that's what worked." Okay. All right, next question, Finn.
All right, so good old Maurice, question from Jedi Gunny, who asks, will we see the new Poe this week, and what will his kit look like?
Oh, God.
If we do get the new Poe, I hope that the character model is a hell of a lot better than that avatar we got that looks like he's just taking a dump.
You cannot stop talking about that.
Because they go on and on about the damn art in these Q&As, and we get what's his name from the Goonies as Poe. It looks terrible. I'm upset. I can't even put it. I love Poe in this game. I can't even use it because it looks like he's sitting on the pot. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Just bathroom hero Poe. Here we go.
This one is. Are we officially naming him now Pooh Dameron now? Is that his name?
Pooh
Yes!
Pooh
Clap
Dameron.
for that.
Pooh
You gotta
Dameron.
clap for
And
that.
BB-8, because of what Warrior noticed, gives the poop emoji. So when he gets that buff... it really is Pooh Dameron. Oh...
I hope he's not I don't know if they've released a kit on him. I haven't seen it, guys. I'm actually sitting there skimming the Q&A as we do this. I'm a little behind, but I hope he's not a tank because it just doesn't really make sense that he was a tank to begin with at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be nice maybe to get. I think Resistance Finn is going to be very, very good.
I do too.
So hopefully Poe and Finn. I mean, of course they're going to kind of go together. I would assume they're going to have some synergy because for a while. I'm not sure if they still do or not, but Poe and Finn, they actually reworked them slightly to have they gave each other the health up. It had synergy together, the old version. So hopefully we get like a little dual synergy there. That kind of forced them to be together because what's going to happen is you don't really want to break up your current Resistance team because they're so good.
No.
I'm sorry. Is anyone else picking up on a lot of like innuendos? It's like,
I'm still
don't want to break up.
Yeah.
We want them to be together. Shame on you.
Thank you. I thought it was being witty. You just had to call me out on it.
Yeah. Look at old good old Maurice. Making love connections since
Absolutely
2015.
darling.
No, but I hope he's an attacker. We have plenty of support in the faction. We got R2, BB-8, 3PO. You know, you could. I'm not sure if Rose is labeled support, but she is support. You know, there's a lot of support characters. You know, Finn taunts, Holdo taunts. We've got the BB-8. Well, it doesn't really taunt with Resistance, but then we've got some taunts. So I'm not sure. We could use. They have everything. They really the faction. They have damage dealers. They have decent support. I guess they could use some more healing, but I mean, Poe as a healer doesn't make much sense either. So, I think he's definitely getting the ship. Yeah, when you think he's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's gonna be another X-wing.
Oh, gosh. All right. Next question, Finn.
Okay, so let's give this one to Ramon from Nightmare. And the question is, will we see more zones added to the TW in 2020 or maybe even a new different setup for TW?
Oh, God, I hope not. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the amount of characters and things that you have to drop on there as it is enough. You know, I mean, maybe as they add more ships, they could add another ship zone or something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't think we need more character zones. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, we are getting to a point where there's a lot of characters in the game, so I get it. But and it seems now like, you know, you're kind of limited on what you can put on defense now because you don't necessarily have as much. You know, there's a lot of different ways to go on defense at the moment. But I would say no. I mean, I would rather them focus their efforts on other content than concentrate on adding, you know, more content to the existing content, if that makes any sense. I would rather them. You know, they're saying they're going to have an ocean of new content that's coming out. I would say let's worry about, you know, some new game modes and some, you know, maybe bringing out this Death Star raid or something like that, rather than getting, you know, or spending any time, you know, developing, you know, new ways to work with TW. I mean, they're going to have to, you know, adjust TW over time, no matter what, because there's going to be. You know, there's going to be new content that comes out, new characters, and that's going to probably change the flow of TW at some point. But I mean, I hope that's not like a primary focus. That's what I'm saying.
Next
I'll
question.
ask you this, Riemann. It just has a little follow-up
Follow-up
here. Do you think that there are too few right now teams in TW? When you compare, like in GAC, how we're expected to put like 8 teams on defense versus in TW, each player is expected to put like 4 if they're like Division 1 capable.
I think most of the time the reason you're only putting 4 on defense in TW is because a lot of teams are being put into 2 zones, right? Like, so you have like people putting like 2 Night Sister zones or 2 Geonosian zones. I mean, so I think that's kind of why that is that way. Because I mean, when you're making your own board, it's obviously going to be different. I think that it's actually more difficult in GAC because I mean, in GAC, like, you know, you're really limited on what you're going to be able to save for offense, right? Whereas in TW, if the guild is doing it, like if you really want to be competitive in TW, you can really look and take a deep dive into what like your rosters look like on the team, and you could say like, okay, listen, you know, you put these teams on defense, this guy saved these teams for offense, and like you can really put out like a good game plan, like like when you're going in on like a Sunday for a football game, you can really take a look at like all the pieces that you have in your guild and say, okay, this is how we're going to have the best shot at winning, you know, because every player is at a different level in the game, right? So I mean, if you do it that way, you know, you can make sure that you're putting your best teams on defense and also saving your best teams for offense. But I think that it's one of those things where obviously you're going to be more limited with your TW teams because they're going to try to kind of double up those zones so that you know you're kind of so it's going to be more of like somebody's telling you what to put out there versus like you making your own decisions individually.
All right.
Yeah.
Next question, Finn.
Okay. So Warrior, next question for you, and it works out well because you had commented on this before. So Jedi Gunny has a question. It says, does oceans of new characters mean that we will see new characters in stores again?
No.
Thank you, Warrior.
You don't think they will? Okay.
Unequivocally, no. They've already said they're not going to put anything in any of those stores, and I believe them. That's the one thing I do believe that they're telling the truth on. The only stores I believe they're going to flood is GAC 1, GAC 2. That's it. Those 2 stores, they said they're not going to put any characters in, but they're going to. They're going to flood those stores with characters, and they're probably going to be good characters. And then you're going to be farming for gas, and you're going to be 3 months in thinking you're getting your 7-star gas almost done, and then the newest meta is going to drop, and you're going to be like, oh, are you serious? And you're going to have to decide that, and there's going to be people that are still farming Hoda, and then like, what, should I even get Hoda, and there's going to be this competition. That's the new stores, the get 1, get 2, and don't be surprised if there's a get 3 store with get 3 currency, and then there'll be more characters in the get 3 store, and that'll be another place. Those are the new stores that they're going to start to introduce new characters in. The other stores are all trash. What's in there is in there, and there's never going to be anything new in those stores. So there'll be oceans of new content in new stores.
Well, if you're going to pick a store that you would like to see them go to again, where I'd say like Arena, GW, or one of those kind of stores, right? Canteen is another.
There's
one.
only one store that they should update, and that would be the guild store. And this is why when I quit the guild, the 2 stores that get locked is the guild store and the get store, because those are the 2 stores that you can't access when you're not in a guild. So the get stores make sense and the guild stores make sense because they take away your access to those 2 stores. So if they were going to rework or put characters into 2 stores that are restricted, those would be the 2 stores to restrict, right? Well, the get store makes sense because that's where they're putting in fresh new characters. So the guild store would be the only other one that would make sense. Plus, you kind of have to participate in guild activities to get that currency, and the higher you participate, the more you get of that currency, the more you could get characters. Plus, it's a rotational basis anyway. I mean, even if you're trying to get Poplu, it still takes 6 months to get Poplu because he freaking rotates, in and out with 4 other characters. So they could put in fresh characters in the guild store, and it would still take you 6 months to get the character because of a rotational thing that they have in there. So they're kind of missing the boat on that. They could do that. Side note, I will be bailing out of here around 9:15ish, just so you guys know.
So 15 minutes? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, roughly around 15 minutes from now.
Okay, cool. All right, Finn, next question.
Okay. Remind me before you drop, Warrior, because there are a couple of fun questions I'm saving for you, so I'll ask those just before you head off. Okay. So next question then for Team Money. Question from Darth Nogri. Question is, do you think we will get a Jedi Master Kenobi like the one from Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, I am disappointed that Kenobi got a capital ship instead of a crude ship. I don't know. I just think he's a little more like of the people. Maybe they just were stuck to who to give that to. But I would love to see another Kenobi in the game. Absolutely. I don't know if that'll come. I don't know where they're going to focus their content. Well, I know they've said that they're going to focus their content on the Clone Wars. I don't know exactly what that will mean for the game, if we're going to get more clones. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if our lore guys have any kind of premonitions about that, predictions about that. That's a question for you guys. Ranger?
Well, I mean, I think they're done with the Clone Wars saga for now. I think I think when we were talking about it last, and one of the statements they'd made is that they're going to go back to Episode 6. They're going back to original trilogy for a little bit after the movie.
Oh.
So that's what I remember them last saying. They're going to get off the Clone Wars for a little bit. So I don't think.
I thought they were going back with the cartoon. Isn't the Clone Wars cartoon?
The Clone Wars cartoon comes in February. It's coming back, but I mean, I think Ranger's right though. I think they're gonna hold off on Clone Wars stuff. And I mean, they just had a movie. They had the Mandalorian, right? And they still haven't released any of that stuff. So I mean, I would think that they're gonna have to kind of do that first. And they got to get. I mean, spoiler alert, they got to get Baby Yoda in the game.
Oh, yeah. Finn will explode if they don't.
How will they get Baby Yoda in the game? How would they get Baby Yoda? You're going to kill Baby Yoda?
Opposed to Baby Yoda in the game.
Kill Baby Yoda?
Nope.
No, you're not.
No. The Mandalorian himself will carry Baby Yoda.
Yeah, it's just a move. It's just a move where Mandalorian gets hurt, and then Baby Yoda comes in and does like a round where he blocks everything.
He comes in as an untargetable sixth character.
Or I don't know if this is too spoilery, or we'd like totally.
Oh, we can do that.
We're over spoiler time.
Yeah,
or he just comes in and like force chokes somebody that assists the Mando because he thinks that he's like trying to shoot him or something.
Speaking of lore, though, right? Isn't it kind of wild that Baby Yoda was able to force choke? I mean, isn't it wild that he was able to use dark side powers? Right, because that's not a light side power.
It was how you look at the Force, because the Force in itself is not, like, for instance, Plo Koon used Force lightning. However, it was not considered a dark side power, right? Because of when he used it was on defense and things of that nature. The Force itself is like neutral. There are aspects of it that you can tap into that make certain abilities stronger than the other. But the original version of the Force, if you go back in the lore, was the Jedi they learned both the light side and the dark side because they believed in balance, right? Because you had to know both aspects, but it's the person that uses the Force and their mentality for it. The Sith being inward and stuff like that, and it transmits. They manipulate the Force and try to use the Force for their will, while the Jedi let the Force tell them what to do and go more into like a Zen kind of Buddhist kind of thing. But there's a lot of different lore and canon that you can read. I've got tons of books, and they've kind of contradict each other sometimes about the Force and the true Force and all this other stuff. So we could talk about this for an hour, which I don't want to do. So let's not do that. Finn, let's get to the next question.
Okay. So we have a few questions from Sedge. We basically have one for each of the panelists. So we'll go with each of you guys. So Ramon, first question for you. He says, I don't have Malik. I have Jedi Knight Revan and Padme teams at Gear 12 and a Relic 5 Grievous Nuke team. What is the best way to climb an arena against Padme and Jedi Knight Revan? I use Grievous to climb against Darth Revan, but I don't know what to use against Padme's and Jedi Knight.
Well, Jedi Knight Revan's pretty easy. You just mirror match. because the AI is stupid.
Yeah.
However, you can't quite do that with your Padme team because a Padme team that can go really bad.
Yeah. So he has a Padme team?
Correct.
And
He has Padme, Grievous, and Jedi Knight Revan.
So I mean, he can't beat the Padme team with the Padme team, or he just doesn't have he just doesn't have gas yet. Is that what it is?
Well, he doesn't have gas yet, but
Yeah,
he's
Darth
asking
Revan
kind
and
of.
Malik.
I don't know if he's tried Padme against Padme. So, Sedge, let us know. Have you tried Padme against Padme, and if not, or if so,
Because you can definitely beat Padme with Padme. Yeah, I mean, you just have to have better mods, you know. So I would defer to Gom on this one. Gom, what's a better counter that maybe some people may not think about?
I confess to sitting down right in the middle of this question. I have no idea.
So the question was, he has a Padme team, he has a Relic 5 Newt General Grievous team, and he has a Jedi Knight Revan team, and he's able to beat the Jedi Knight Revan count. He's able to counter Jedi Knight Revan in Arena right now, but he's wondering what would be a good team he could use to beat Padme teams.
Probably, I think Grievous is probably an option just because B2 can keep that dispel and keep all the protection up down. That would probably be, out of those three teams, that's probably the one I use, because all the rest of them, the problem is B1. The problem with all of those teams is with both Jedi Knight Revan and Grievous, they both use so many assist mechanics. It's tough the double Zeta Padme can be tough for them. So it's I know traditionally I use Grievous teams for about everything and just kind of suck it up. Just try to focus fire on one character so one character gets the protection up from B1 assisting. I don't know. Padme teams, it can be kind of tricky.
Yeah.
I would use General Grievous on absolutely everything. You can decimate everything but Padme. You're going to have difficult time with Padme. I would use your Jedi Knight Jedi Knight Revan against Padme. Super easy to kill a Padme team. If he's got Anakin, you're going to mark Anakin and kill him.
Yeah.
The assist on Anakin at first is going to give him bonus protection, but you're going to still chew through him and do a lot of damage. Then you're going to do single target attacks. Don't do any assists until Anakin's dead. You'll have him dead pretty quickly, even after he's been marked. Then you're going to get stuck on General Kenobi. You're going to do single target attacks on General Kenobi, do AoEs to try to keep the bonus protection down on everybody, so as to minimize the damage that output that they're going to do on you. And then when Mark comes back, you're going to mark Padme. You're going to mass attack her, and then you're going to do single target attacks on her until she falls. Once she falls, it's auto battle.
Yeah.
It's super easy. I did it every single day.
We did
5
it on
times a day.
GAC.
Everybody,
There you go.
There you go.
Super easy.
The buff
I do it
immunity.
I just do it every single day.
Well, the buff immunity prevents
Super easy.
the green protection up, the Zeta protection up. If they have buff immunity, can they still get that lock protection up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Nope.
can. They can't?
Yep.
There's only one that they can get.
Yep.
That's the unique
Which
on
is why you
Padme,
gotta
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yep, and you got to do the single. So you got to do single target attacks. The only time you ever want to use a multi attack is just the marked from Revan, just to get the marked on him, so you can target attack and cooldown increase, and make sure you can get around the taunting and stuff. But other than that, it's single target attack. You just want to do single target attack or AoEs. Otherwise, you don't want to do any calls to assist ever with that. But otherwise, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Okay. Next question.
Next question for Gom. Make sure you let me know, Warrior, when you're going. I have your questions still ready. So go to Marie's question from Sedge. What are the best 3v3 teams to make using Separatists? The best 2 with a Grievous lead, and maybe the best 2 with either a Dooku lead or a Newt lead.
Well, I did a lot of experimenting with these teams. I did find, let's see, some of my favorites. I really like Poggle, Droideka, and IG-100. If you run a faster Droideka, that's a pretty good team. It's durable. Can be kind of annoying, just simply because every time they attack on a turn, both those characters attack on a turn. They'll get health regeneration. Droideka regenerates protection. That's kind of a good one to split it up, because Poggle is not going to make any Geonosian Brood Alpha 3 versus 3 team more than likely. So he's kind of left out, but he does have a leadership. You know, a lot of people do run the Grievous B1, B2. It's a good team. I felt like everybody every time I played got one shot, so everyone knows how to beat that team. Everyone has something for that team. So towards the end, I started using General Grievous, my Zeta L3, and Watt. That was semi-effective. I liked Newt Lead, actually. I like them with Asajj and Zombie. That's what I used a lot. Dooku. My Dooku wasn't modded very well. It's like a slower tenacity build, Dooku. It didn't work very well for 3 vs 3. I didn't have too much success with him. But he worked well with IG-100. IG-100 is a nice flex play. That's why I kind of liked putting Grievous. I think it was last week or the week before, Warrior was talking about Newt, B1, and Sunfac. You know, B1 is so good under Newt Gunray. So it was a lot of fun just testing all of them out. Django, my Django's not very good, so I pretty much kept him with the Bounty Hunters. But he had a lot of use. I had a lot of problems with the Dooku Django combos, like Dooku led Django. Countering Relic Django is terrifying. So that's a good option as well. It's a good, solid faction for 3 vs 3. Lots of tanks, lots of support, lots of high damage characters. You know, just a lot depends on your mods and how you have them set up. So hope that was helpful. Yeah.
Okay. Next question for T-Money. Question from Sedge. Says, Mother Talzin lead or Ventress lead? Which is better for what situations?
Mother Talzin lead is what you're going to want on offense, and Ventress is what you're going to want on defense. It's just that massive turn meter gain that makes Night Sister team on defense really difficult to control, and that's what that's how they get ahead of Imperial troopers, because they heal up a little bit and then all of their turn meter just starts going and they get out of control in that way. It's a very, very easy to beat a Mother Talzin led Night Sister team with Imperial troopers. It is just a complete walk in the park. If you set them in TW against a guild with decent troopers, expect them to be 20 20 20 20 20 20 all across the board for those that are outsped, of course. For offense, though, because you have that extra control, you can see, when do I need healing? When does this character, on the verge of dying? Who do I want to die? Right? Who do I want to leave down and build up Ventress's offense? The Talzin lead is who you want. To be taking down Jedi Knight Revan, to be taking down the Geonosians, to be taking down so many different teams. So that's pretty standard. That's pretty standard across the board.
All right.
Okay. Warrior, question to you from the Sedge. What's the minimum gear level you can use to unlock Malik's both missions, and what gear level until it gets easier?
All right, this will be my last question, so I got to get out of here. Or you can kick me, whatever the last questions are.
Oh, we'll kick you.
I don't know what the minimums are going to be. I know that you don't have to have everybody at gear 12. I know you can have about half at gear 12, half at gear 11 pretty easily. I've seen a number of people do that. Really, I've seen people do the 16,500 minimum with the Zetas, with the proper mods, and accomplish it by using the proper output. If there's anybody who you're going to have to really level up, you really want to focus on Mission. Mission and her offense output is really what's going to be critical with that, because she's the one that's going to be doing all of the damage at the very, very end. And then just a thought, Zalbar, and the reason for that is you can really do an awesome tenacity build for him, and you really want that, so that way you can keep him around for missions, so that way he can keep his taunt up, so every time he gets hit, she does her assist at the end to make it easier for taking out Malik at the very, very end after you do all the topples. Other than that, the rest of it should be pretty easy. The dark side is not difficult. It's the light side mission that's difficult. So that's the one that you would, be most, difficult to have. But really, it's Zalbar and Mission are the two that you really want to spend the most time on. Any others before I get out of here that you have?
I'm going to run through the front questions with you, Warrior. So Revenator asks, what is it like to eat dinner and be able to look up at your family rather than staring down at the phone for your payout? Is it as magical as they say?
Crazy enough, normal payouts are between like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So from 4 to 7. And normally I'm a lot of times at work during that time. So it's like last night I was at work for that entire time frame. I was just sitting there and I'm like, I'm like watching news and like, and the people at work are like, you missing the game. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes, it was a time filler at times. I mean, there was a time when, there are times when it's a time burden, but there are times when it was a time filler as well. So, I mean, it wasn't, 100% bad, I'm not trying to demonize it. So, it is nice though, when you're off, like Tuesday and Wednesday, I was off of work and, I had already, committed to basically not climbing. And so Tuesday and Wednesday I was off and I we're selling another house where, we'd moved a year ago, but we haven't sold our previous house. We had a contract fall through. If anyone knows anything about that, they know kind of how stressful that is. So a year later, we still have 2 homes. We're trying to sell the other home, but we still have crap at the other house. And so I still have stuff in the garage I have to move out. And a year later, I'm finally finding the time to like go to the other house and move stuff out of the garage. But like going to the other house and moving stuff during payout and not thinking about payout was nice to know that I wasn't like, because normally I'd be like, well, I can't move that stuff because it's payout, but that's something I should have been doing a year ago and I hadn't done. So it was nice to prioritize real life moving stuff I should have moved a year ago and not pay out. So that was good that I did that.
All
right. Next one, Nightmare. Do you feel like being competitive on an alt account burned you out on the game?
No. That was basically the only what it did. It wasn't that it burnt me out. What it did was it actually proved that you could be competitive without spending money, which made me actually feel like remorse for spending money in the first place. Actually made me feel like I shouldn't have spent in the first place on my main account, made me feel remorse on that first account, and made me not want to play my original account at all. Actually, it demotivated me from playing my main account, and that's where my like demotivation for playing Warrior came from, was actually my sister main account, because I was able to be Kyber every time.
Boy, your voice just cut out, brother.
You got max headroom on us, buddy.
Yeah, you're going
yeah, like
better or worse?
Worse.
It's worse. It's like switched it to something else. Like it sounds like you're far away. It's doing that tube thing again.
All right, hold on. Let me leave and come back real quick. Hold on.
Okay. So wait for Warrior to come back before getting into the rest of the question. T-Money, I'll ask you this fun question really quick because Durgan asked it. Durgan asked a fun question. He said, if they add Baby Yoda to the game, will they add Scout Trooper to one punch him?
All right, I'm back.
Damn you, Durgan. All right.
I'm
You
really
sound
not
better
okay
now.
with that. I'm really not okay with that, Durgan.
Oh, shit.
Okay,
No,
say
I'm
something,
not.
Warrior.
Say something.
Is it better?
Yeah, there we go.
Am I back?
Better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, it was just that my free-to-play account had given me that new lease on life, and I realized that you can do it. You can do it without any need for any infusion of cash. You don't need to do that. So it actually demotivated me to want to play my main account, which is where that demotivation for my main account came from, because I didn't have to spend anything and I could hit Kyber on my alt account. So then I just wanted to play nothing but Scissor Man. But then it was like I felt like I had to play my Warrior account to keep it alive. You know how people are like, well, you got to, at least like log in and get your Zetas. Well, I did that. I've done that for the last year. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to log in and have to like drag that thing along like a dead animal, behind me. And that's where it's like I just can't. I can't like keep it on life support and do this. And so it was like I had to walk away because it was just too much to do both, and I couldn't limp it along and to let one die, especially with the huge amount of investment that was in it. It was like my brain just didn't let me let one die and not the other. Free to play over and do the journey free to play over, like it means. So yeah.
All right.
All right. And I'll give you one last one because I know this one's probably an easy one for you to answer. Jacob Ward says, I need a new mattress. Any you'd recommend above others?
Yes.
Really?
I know what Warrior's answer is going to be, so I'm giving him a softball here at the end.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a little homework. You guys should type in to your browsers Climate 360. Climate 360. Check that out. That is coming out in 2021, and it's going to be about 20 years ahead of anything on the market. Climate 360. Check it out.
There you go.
All right. And with
All right,
that,
you guys.
all right, Warrior, be
All right.
safe, my friend.
Bye, Warrior.
We'll talk to you later, brother.
Later, Warrior.
Okay.
Let's do
So-
it. Good old
All
Maurice is
right.
scratching
So we'll
his
go
leg. Give him a question.
to
Good old Maurice is losing interest. He's scratching his leg. Finn, give him a question quick.
okay. Good old Maurice. Poor good old Maurice. All right. He's just picking on him today. I like his hair without.
He's
his
got a
face.
guitar.
I
Wait a
love his
minute.
hair
I
without it.
saw a guitar there.
Yeah.
What
He's
is
great on the
going
guitar.
There you go.
He forgets, like, we hang out on the phone sometimes. He forgets that you're there. He does all sorts of things. He's a great guitar player.
Wow.
I'm a weird dude. All right.
Yes, it's real.
All right.
The sounds that come out of that house.
Wow.
All right, guys, and make sure
Yeah.
that if you guys haven't, give us a thumbs up. Just hit that button really quick. And if you guys have questions, we're collecting our last group of questions here because we're getting close to the top of the hour here, 40 more minutes. So, okay, good old Marie's question to you from Ray Rock, and he says, since we're likely getting more resistance ships and CG is doing more with pilotless ships, can you see CG putting out a new Falcon with interchangeable resistance pilots so that the ships have different abilities? Since Poe and Finn were piloting the Falcon in Episode 9.
I think it's more likely we get an additional one. That's a cool idea though for the future. Because then, yeah, but then I worry that will never be a reality just simply because there's not as much money to be made off that. Just simply if you get one ship and can just use a multitude of pilots to go with it. I don't know. That would be cool if every pilot gives it, like the pilots themselves have abilities for the ships instead of the ship having the ability. That's a cool idea. Yeah, especially in the Millennium Falcon's case, there's how many pilots in the game that we have that have piloted at one time or another in the movies and then stuff. So that's a cool idea, but I don't think so. I don't want to like poo on your dreams, but I just don't. I think ships need to develop. They need to have more activities.
We're very
for the ship.
poo themed today. I'm just putting that out there. A lot of poo flying around here.
Poop.
I don't know. I don't want to be like a dream crusher, but I don't know. There's nothing to do with ships. Besides arena, they need to have another activity for ships.
Good old Maurice, destroying
Like coloring
dreams.
book?
Yeah, since 2015.
I will say that they've announced that the one cool thing that the Q&A did tell us was that they're adding additional tiers to the assault battle, so maybe we'll be able to use ships there. I mean, just give us something else to use these ships in. I mean,
What's an assault battle?
it's like the things that, like over Christmas, we had 3 of them every day. It's like a Vader one. There's a GK
It's the
one.
event.
Oh.
Yeah, just like
Okay,
the multi-kit
we're
that gives
not-
you.
All I hear is like another 15 minutes for crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get like
I need to say this out loud before I forget, folks. We know that these are they still coming? They haven't canceled the new abilities, the new relic abilities, right? Like they've just delayed them coming out.
They've delayed them.
They delayed
They've
it for a
delayed
while.
them. This is what I think is going to happen. I think that and hearing this confirms this even more for me. I don't know this for sure, but they're going to require Zetas, and we might be getting a new material. Okay, this is just my
don't say
T Money
that.
like
God
prediction.
Damn it,
So,
T-Money.
and I think it's going to be, they're going to be treating Zetas like they were treating Omegas, the Omega crunch. Well, they loosened up on that a bit. How many Zetas do you have banked? Like I have 100 right now. The account that I'm helping out with right now has almost 300 Zetas on it. Lots of people have a big stock of Zetas right now, and I don't think that's by mistake. There's no way they're going to get rid of those Zetas from us by introducing characters. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm right. So if they do have another level, what are they going to give us? 3 Omegas instead of 2? No, we're probably going to be getting Zetas from that level. So that to me is a sign that maybe save up your Zetas. Maybe don't do some of your little, I don't know. I hate saying to people don't do your pet projects, but if you're on the fence about something, maybe just hold on to that Zeta for the next month to see if they come out with something.
Okay. Next question, Dr. Finn.
All right. Next question is for T Money, and it's a lovely ship question for you, T. And the question is from Rubber Duck Mafia, and he says, "What would be the best 7th ship not named Houndstooth under Malevolence when all of the 3 bugs, or when you're using the 3 bugs and all 3 droid ships?"
Look at that pun.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I don't answer questions that I don't know, and I don't,
just say poo.
Poo. What's this? What's Mafia? What? Duck Mafia?
Yeah, Rubber Duck Mafia.
Rubber Duck Mafia.
You're on my hit list now.
Oh,
he didn't ask the question for you.
No, Finn.
He didn't ask the question to you.
He knows.
No, he just put a question in there, and Finn.
How many of us are there? 3.
No, Finn
chance I'm gonna get it.
No, Finn picked you, so that's.
Can I have a different question, please, so that I don't look like a complete asshole B moron?
Ranger, you want to answer that one?
Go on, help her. How about your buddy?
No, I was just saying, like earlier, when they're like, "Can you use Jedi Knight Revenant on Padme?" I was like, "No," and the Warrior's like, "Absolutely."
I was like, "Really? You can't?" I was like, "I've always done that." And she
blew that one. yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what even the question was.
So the question is a seventh ship under Malevolence when you're already using the 3 bugs and the 3 droid ships.
I'll say Gar Saxon. The answer to the question, if it's like, what obscure ship do I use, is always Gar Saxon.
I think you could throw in there any of the OP ships. I mean, you could probably use the Millennium Falcon there. You could probably use Anakin Starfighter there. You could probably use, Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer. Yeah. You could also run with the with the Ebon Hawk, or something like that, or even Cassian's U-Wing. Any of the top. It's always good. Yeah, any of the top reinforcement ships you could probably get away with.
Right. I think there's a different question there. I think there's a different question here that needs to be asked. Is not so much what ships do you use with your Malevolence, because you're probably not having any difficulty using your Malevolence on offense versus General Kenobi. But the fact is that it sucks on defense. It sucks, and you just have to accept that until we get another ship. Maybe somebody's going to find out how to make it like all of a sudden worthwhile. But if you fought Malevolence with a General Kenobi ship, you're just like, that's it? Like, really? Like, what is this? And then they just like mow over Kenobi ships on offense. So it's an offensive ship. Period. Yeah. Eventually you'll have both of them. Maybe you'll have a First Order and Malevolence. Maybe they'll introduce these ships in time that we're not going to have all of the same ships. Thank God. Maybe we're going to have different, ships than each other for once in the frickin' game. That would be great. But it's a defensive ship. So it's an offensive ship. So you probably don't need anything in that 7th slot, is what I'm saying.
There are some good ships, and we actually made a video about one of them, and it's the replacement for Houndstooth if you're using Houndstooth on another squad, and that's the BTL Y-Wing. Now, I know a lot of people don't have it at 7 stars. You can use it under starred, but it's better if it's at a higher star. But the BTL Y-Wing is a really good ship. It's a tanky ship. It's not necessarily tied to the Galactic Republic. And when you're bringing it from reinforcements, again, its reinforcement is not tied to Galactic Republic. It's actually all allies, when you max it out, will gain retribution. So the BTL Y-Wing is actually a really good add-in instead of Houndstooth in that 7th position, especially if you have really like good ships like the bugs and the droids, which can either hit hard like the droids or can trigger additional assists like the bugs. And you can get all kinds of bonus attacks from that. So I would probably go with the BTL Y-Wing on that one.
Why are we not using Houndstooth though?
They said without Houndstooth, without
maybe he's putting Houndstooth on defense.
I'm assuming Houndstooth is on a different team.
For offense, and you're using this team on
defense.
Yeah. So we're trying to come up with the answers for like without Houndstooth, which is an amazing ship. What can you go with? So we did get a donation from Smoke311. He donated $2. Thank you, sir. He said, "Gom, check private message now, please."
Oh, it's probably just said like.
Yeah.
Cheeky.
But again, The BTL Y-Wing is better on offense than it is on defense. And to Team Money's point, Malevolence right now is better on offense. So again, this is an offensive focused kind of 7th team, which is going to be the BTL Y-Wing is what I would probably recommend.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Finn.
So Team Money, here you go. Here's a better
question for
Team. It's from Bing Skymaster.
I answered that question very well in the end. I just have to point that out. I did. I gave you the right answer. This is the
well,
right
you did
answer.
so good. Here's another ship question for you. Question from Bing Skymaster.
Stop it.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Took me a second to get that into my brain.
Question from Bing is, what are the top 5 Mandalorian characters you think will come into Galaxy of Heroes first?
Oh boy.
Baby
well, sorry, I have Baby Shark in my mind now. No, everybody does. Okay, so obviously the Mando himself, I'm sorry, I can't remember names very well. The cheeky bounty hunter that he's hung out with, IG-11. Pardon?
You're talking about Cara Dune?
The Rebel Shock
Yes,
Trooper.
Cara Dune, yeah. I thought you said hairdo. What? Is that her nickname? So those 3, I think that'll be a start. I don't know if we'll get a full 5 right away. They'll probably add some more in. I definitely don't think we're getting what's the Ugnaughts name? The beautiful little man. What's dude's name?
I can't think
You're talking about
the Ugnaught. I can't think of his name.
The only Ugnaught in the.
You're talking about Quill?
Quill.
His name is Quill.
Yeah, Quill. I don't think we'll get Quail. I don't think we'll get Baby Yoda. Maybe some of the bad guys. Maybe.
Flame Trooper.
Maybe Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Maybe Moff Gideon.
Yeah, Flame Trooper for sure. Flame Trooper, absolutely. We're getting. Yeah, that's a good call. I'm calling for him for a while.
And Machine Gun Mando.
Machine Gun Mando. Oh, Machine Gun Mando is really hot. It's just FYI to all those, straight males out there.
I think we're definitely getting Moff Gideon with that secret weapon he has.
You mean
yeah,
the dark saber. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's got the dark. Yeah,
it was the dark saber, and that's going to be
Moff Gideon. I think is going to be
what happened from the end of Rebels to the Mandalorian, and how did he get his bloody little paws on it? I think is going to be a great backstory. Because we know who had it last. So what happened between then and 5 years after Return of the Jedi? So, I mean, that's going to be a fact. I can't wait for season 2 of The Mandalorian.
I think the more pressing question is, what characters from other Star Wars series are we going to get on The Mandalorian? I think we're possibly going to get
Boba Fett.
Some Rebels characters maybe on there.
I think we're going to get Boba Fett for sure. I think he's going to come in there.
Boba would be impressive because him surviving the Sarlacc is not officially canon, right?
Right, it's not official canon, but they could make it canon because that's pretty much what the stories all are, with Dengar finding him and all that stuff.
He was literally standing there in the show. He was just standing there. It was Boba Fett. I don't know why we're talking about this. Boba Fett is alive. He is. It's sort of like, oh man, I love that Boba Fett bounty hunter. I'm going to dress exactly like him. Like, does that seem like a Mandalorian thing to do?
In Legends when Boba Fett survived, what they did was they had like Boba Fett like reasoned with the Sarlacc, and they came to an understanding. I wonder what they're gonna if they brought him back, how he would have survived. They could do
a cool cutback scene where you see Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc pit, kind of cussing and stuff, and then you see like maybe Dengar. They have someone like Dengar and follow the story as a backstory of him remembering, and then you see Boba Fett in the new because in the canon Boba Fett was amazing in the EU books. I mean, he did some fun, cool stuff. I mean, he was
because like maybe he had a tracker on him. Maybe he had a DNA tracker on him. Like
we've seen that, as a backup. I mean, why wouldn't Boba Fett have a backup in case something went wrong, right? Because they did him dirty in Return of the Jedi. I'm sorry. If you read all the books, like he fought Darth Vader to a standstill and all this other stuff. They beat the crap out of each other. Like, man, he's a bad dude. And then all of a sudden you see Han, Boba Fett, and then he's dead. It's like, that's not the way Boba Fett should have got out, man. I'm sorry, that sucks. All right, next question, Dr. Finn.
Yeah, I mean, he's wearing a jetpack, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. How hard is it to get out of a Sarlacc with a jetpack on?
Well, the jetpack was shot, wasn't it? I thought
Han just hit it with his stick and turned it on.
Oh, yeah.
And then he crashed to the side of the skiff.
They made Boba Fett pretty lame in Return of the Jedi.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it. All right. Next question, Dr. Finn.
All right. So Riemann, question to you from Arkany Duran, and the question is: can you please explain how courage works, and how do you optimize it during a match?
Oh, courage.
Oh, courage. Well, courage is a fine attribute for a human being, right? I mean, you really just have to be brave.
No,
I honestly don't even know.
Oh my God, we're gonna start calling you Ramon Patron at this point. Stop with the day. I was like Grande-esque right there, Remo.
No. I really, I don't even know who has courage.
I can answer for you.
Go,
Go
T.
answer. I've studied up.
This is not a shit
Okay.
question. She's on it.
On it. I'm on it.
All right, let
So
her
okay,
answer.
there's a part that I don't remember here, but okay. So basically, when a Galactic Republic ally is under Padme,
thought you were
part
gonna
of
go
her
when a mommy loves her
leadership
daddy.
is that she turns every buff that they have into a stack of courage. In addition, they get a stack of courage for every Galactic Republic. I don't know if it's other ally or ally. That means either get 5 or 4 stacks of courage, and then for every 4 stacks of courage, it takes 20% of their health. Is this right, guys? 20% of their health pool, not under their protection, but it takes. So if they have a large health pool, then it's taking a lot more of their.
It's 40%.
Is it 40%?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Zeta is, yeah.
Would you say that's each 4 courage takes 40%? I don't think that's right.
No, the protection up from the Zeta is 40% protection up. 20%, I think you're right, is from the other elements, such as her basic and her cleanse, and like if C-3PO gives
But I'm
you a
saying
bump.
how much damage they take from the how much damage they invoke on the other team. For every stack of courage, they it's 20% health, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
per
for each
stack of
5,
courage.
it's 40%.
Per
Yeah.
5. Okay, per 5.
For 5 is 40%.
There you go. See? Just poured out of me there. I didn't need help at all.
Look at all that. Look at that. This is now Math Hour with Too Many G.
Yeah, baby.
Don't
If you want to know how
don't
this
give her equations, she'll bitch
after the
slap you.
show, of course. But if there's anything that you want to know about with regards to the really technical aspects, you go to SWGOH.gg and you go into the units and you click on one of the abilities, and when that drops down, it says on Padme's, it says view aggressive negotiations mechanics. You check on that, and it tells you it's supposed to tell you what order things goes in. It doesn't always go in that order, but it tells you all the kind of the programming behind it.
Oh, more
Yeah.
Science.
Yeah, I really don't use Padme much, to be honest with you. I mean, a little bit.
I guessed that when you said who
Yeah.
has courage.
Yeah.
I kind of-
I want to apologize for being part of the 4-way mansplain that just about happened to T-Money. I'd like to apologize.
No, I asked for help. I asked for help.
Well, actually.
I asked for help.
All right, next
But
question.
yeah, Yep.
Thank you, though.
did we answer both parts? So
Yeah,
we
yeah, we
talked about
answered
how
both, yeah.
courage works and then how to optimize it. Okay. Yeah, and let us know if you have any other questions, Arkany. Next question from Apparingo. This one will go to good old Maurice. And question is, what's the best way to defeat
40%.
Darth Revan, Malik, and Wat? I don't have my Malik or Sith Marauder. I have CLS. I have a 6-star gas. I have Padme, and I have Traya.
Okay, time out.
Yes.
Time out. When damaging the target enemy with an attack for each 5 stacks of courage, dispel 5 stacks and deal bonus damage equal to 40% of the target's max health.
There you go.
40%. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
T-Money
40%.
science time.
Like, this isn't going to be a very good answer. Like, anytime that I see or I anticipate my opponent placing Darth Revan and Malik together, I go ahead and mentally accept that it's probably going to take a 2-shot, right? So I know that's not the best advice, but I think it's almost more important to have a backup plan for just Malik solo. So keep your first order. Keep you're probably facing it now. But I would out of those options, I would probably go with Padme, Anakin, and then use 3PO or Kenobi.
What are the 3 options?
The 6-star gas. I think he said Padme, and then there was one other one.
CLS and Traya. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, CLS is a good option. CLS is probably your best option, actually. Yeah, because you can stun Wat immediately. You could even use if you have a well-developed Kira, You could use her as lead. Clash was on our show talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Is it Malik, Watt, Revan?
Yes.
Yeah, I would probably actually, with Watt, I'm gonna change my mind and go CLS, stun Watt, get rid of Watt. Hopefully the Watt is a 5 or 6 star. If you have a well-developed CLS Han Chewie, you can potentially take him out before he even gives a mini bust at all. So if you got a strong Han Chewie, use CLS. If you don't, go Padme. That's what I would suggest.
If you're slower than the Darth Revan, though, I would recommend what Gomer said is drain cooldowns. Take in some gear, 8, 9 characters, and just and go in and wait for him to do his AOE. It's really tricky because Darth Revan won't do his AOE unless there's at least
Multiple
2 of them there. Yeah. And so even if there's a little bit of health, he'll still do it, but he'll just use a basic, and then then it's all screwed up. So you got to kind of take in enough, health to get him to do the AOE, or you got to do another round or 2. So, yeah.
All right. Next question, Finn.
Okay. I think we only have one more question before the fun question.
Yay! And just as a programming note, right after this, I'm going to do my GAC 3v3 final round. I just want everybody to know I'm already Cabber. This is just for fun. It's the finals.
Yay.
This is for
Congratulations.
This is for Zetas. You know what I would love, Team Money, if you can hang around, because it only takes about 30 minutes. If you can hang around, I would love that, because we've never done a 3v3 together on the stream.
Yeah, I have my 3v3 that I have to do still. I actually might need to sleep. I need to. It's
up to you. I'm just saying it's going to be.
I have not slept yet, and I have to work at 6. So
it's up to you. But I was going to make the offer because we've never had a chance to do.
Thank you. This is true. So
if you want to do it, you can. I know good old Maurice will hang around.
It only takes a half an hour. How do you do that?
It takes 30 to 40 minutes. Just do the battles. We talk about it, and we just get in there and start talking and having fun and come up with theory crafts, and then. I use Greedo, Han, and Chewie, and then good on Maurice, and we start laughing because I fail miserably, and then we still figure it out. So we'll get the full clear. So, but it's always fun to do that. Anybody's welcome. So I just want to throw that out there. But all right, so let's get to the last question, and then let's get to some fun questions.
I'll mention with that, Ranger. Remember how I was talking about the math? If you're trying to be a dick in GAC,
and
just put one team on defense. My opponent in the second round was trying to be a dick too. But he did it wrong. So he put a single character team in the zone in front of ships. He got enough points to push him out of Carbonite. So I outdicked the dick in this match. So I'm going to remain in Carbonite, and he got pushed out and got now into Bronzium.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
If you guys are
switched from poop to dick now.
Yeah. Well, no. So if you didn't know, so I'm going for Carbonite this whole time, right? And instead of just signing up for the first GAC and then not participating in the rest, I wanted to get the rewards for as many as I can. So I'm just putting in one team on defense. But the way to do it when you look at the math is to just put in a single fleet. It's not to put in a character, because whenever you put in a team on the character team, you give the other opponent a chance to actually gain more points if you face somebody that just put in a fleet team. So last round, I had one person that only put in a single character in the back character zone, and he lost because I gave him more points because I only had the one fleet team. And same thing happened again this time. So that was 2 matches in a row where I fought somebody that just put one team on defense, and I managed to lose them both.
Well, the other 10 people you fought during Grand Arena really appreciate you preventing them from getting any feats done whatsoever.
Thank you.
The other 10 people, thank you.
Yeah, and I thank CG for not understanding.
From being the sweet guy of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes to
out-dicking the community.
I made no bones about it whatsoever, and I would like to thank CG for not understanding that we need to fill in all the slots and instead just let us put one team on defense and let us auto it for the rest of the GAC.
Yeah, I'm sure they put that right at the top of their priority list.
Yep. And that's why I take advantage of it. If they leave it, I make no bones about it.
Being a dick since 2016. All right. What's the next question?
And now you see why Ranger hates me all the time. All right. T-Money question to you from the Sedge. He says, I sometimes see Shock T lead in the top 10 of Arena. Can that team
Really?
beat everything?
Shock T?
Yes.
Wow.
No, it can't beat everything. No. Shakti is beating Darth Revan. Shakti
Is
with
it really?
the clones is easy peasy, easiest. I would say it goes Grievous, then Shakti for ease of beating Darth Revan. It's fast. So, Shakti
true.
lead, the 3 clones minus ARC Trooper, and then Anakin. And you do not use Anakin's AoE move. You're just protecting him until somebody dies. And then he comes and does his AoE and just blasts them all to pieces. You have to have an R7 Anakin. You have to have, probably like 8, 9, 10,000 offense on him. And just cuts through those teams, even with, stupid Geonosian Brood Alpha and all these like quirky little things that can screw up some of the counters.
What do you think, T, about Shakti lead with like a 5-star gas?
A Shakti lead with 5-star gas in the back?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think gas
really
is
do
really
anything.
only working out front, but 5-star gas, 6-star gas, they can beat Darth Revan for sure. You need the support of the clones, and you need the mods for it. But Shakti, you don't really need great mods on anybody except for Anakin, because you just want them to die. I was beating Darth Revan's with Gear 12 clones. I actually just recommended to someone they were in the 100th place in Arena and like struggling with Gear 12 and 13 Padme team, and I was like, you got all of your clones, dude, just climb with that, right? And so it's super easy to climb with Shakti and Anakin.
Okay. All right, let's get to the fun questions, Finn.
Okay. So first fun question says, apropos wound, says, did anyone read the CG not a dev summary? I swear that was in Finn's voice. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, so T-Money, you guys would all know. Weren't gaming fans one of the game-changing group?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they have kind of like turned on CG now. So every time there's a Q&A, they post their own and have who they call CG not a dev post their responses instead of the actual question. So, for example, the first question, why were there no Christmas giveaways? CG not a dev responded, we do not like Christmas and do not feel the community deserves anything more for free. We have been more than generous in lowering the cost of select pieces of purple gear and in our Santa-like giveaway of Chirotech pieces each day for completing the daily activities. And there is a lot more of that. Why is Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber so freakishly long both in-game and on the old loading screen art? CG Not a Dev responded, you know what they say about a guy with a long lightsaber.
That just makes me miss Carrie. Remember when she said she compared the finisher that looks like a fleshlight to because it's just like, well, it is called the finisher.
T.
Like, oh, yeah,
So I
baby.
know what you meant, T, but you said those words way too close together.
What did I say?
That just made me miss Carrie.
Oh, what? Oh. Okay, let's not make jokes there.
I was like, what the hell, T? Oh, wait, no, she's talking about Carrie.
Yeah, that's a really
In a desperate attempt to try to change the topic, LJ Cool is actually on our show, the developer that shot this site a long time ago. He's a witty fella.
Yes, he is.
He was a cool guest, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't checked that out,
Yeah.
definitely go check it out. Just Google search for CG_ not a dev, and you'll find it on the SWGOH event, the gaming fan site. It's actually really funny. But no, that had nothing to do with me, unfortunately. We do our own thing on the live Q&A. So, all right, Durgan, question: is this the Jedi Academy airing of grievances? Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we do.
I'm pretty.
Is that every
I'm pretty
week?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
We generally spend the first 15 minutes complaining about things, then we get to the questions.
No, I mean, if we got a Q&A like we did, then I mean, kind of,
Yeah.
it's gonna work.
Yeah, every live stream about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is a live stream about grievances and complaints, and it's just the way it is.
I just complain about people complaining. I don't know if people have noticed that.
But still complaining.
I inception the complaining.
Grievance
Complaining
section.
within the, I said I complain within the complaining within the complaining. I inception the complaining.
That's like a haiku there.
Dream within a dream within a dream. Yeah, I'm deep, man.
The next question for you, T Money, from Durgan. He says, "Are those footy flash pajamas?"
No, they don't have footies, and they don't have one of the back traps, Sturgeon, which is what I know you really wanted to know. Right. You're sick.
You're sick.
All right. God, that went sideways quickly. All right.
See,
Durgan, worst PJs ever. All right, next question from JT Tip says, "Is corporate efficiency a bad thing?" No. I wish CG had more of it.
Yeah.
Is corporate efficiency, is that like a leading question from someone who's actually like a really bad and boring leading question from somebody that's actually a CG employee?
Oh, you have somebody who's calling himself just the tip. I don't think he's a CG employee. All right, next question for you, I think for Riemann. Question from What Else 73. He says, "Wait, it's not emphasis nest? Whoa, I've been saying it wrong for like a year."
Emphasis nest, yeah. No, that's it's weird. There's a lot of weird pronunciations for Star Wars names. You know, remember Boba Fett, and there's
Padme.
Padme is a common one.
Padme, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's Enfys nest.
Deckle.
Deckle.
Oh my God.
What?
That's an inside joke. Sorry.
I was like, what the hell is Deckle? Okay.
Infinity doesn't watch our show.
I missed the Deckle reference, apparently. I do watch your show, but
I know you do.
I troll on there all the time. Okay. Good old Maurice. Question for good old Maurice. Oh, the good old Maurice, we have a question for you from yourself. When is Ouchie Dumpling's deadline for a complete Count Dooku?
You know, I don't know. I guess we'll have to talk to her. She's making good progress.
She's fully committed to it.
She's making good progress.
I was all over the other day on the lunch streams about it. So,
well, she's making good progress. She showed me a screenshot. Was it yesterday before? So
yeah,
we're getting there, and I think she'll be pleasantly pleased with her new toy as soon as it's complete.
There you go.
Pleasantly pleased.
All right. Next question from Nightmare. We'll go around the corner here. Does anyone else on the panel run an alt account?
No.
Do any of you guys have an alt account?
I'm running a friend's account right now who's he's a doctor in Turkey and saw 85 patients in 3.5 hours the other day. Shout out to all you people who have like real amazing crazy jobs like that. Like, wow. So I'm working his account right now. I was doing a really good job, now I'm not. So it's hard. I mean,
my main account is kind of like an alt account, if that means it.
Yeah, if you look at it, you're like, is this for real? I always enjoy Sundays.
Your mods still give me palpitations, Riemann. We
yeah.
Last Sunday was classic.
One of these days, I'm going to pay Ranger enough money to take care of it for me, so I just don't have to look at it at all.
It's going to be a project of epic proportions. Because people ask like, when are you going to do it? I'm like, when Riemann's ready for me to do it. We've already talked about it. When he's ready for me to Riemann.
Cough it up, Riemann.
It's going to have to be an event. It's not just that. It has to be. We have to do. I mean, people would have. I can't just all of a sudden appear on stream one day with good mods. Like it has to happen.
Yeah, you can. You can. And people will be like, oh, awesome.
Yeah. Well, that could happen, yeah, I guess. But I mean, yeah, no, we gotta do that on stream, I think.
Yep.
You're gonna remod your whole roster on stream.
At least a little bit of it. Maybe maybe we'll record it and then
he could roast you on stream. That was fun when I got to roast Grim.
Yeah, we could do that.
He doesn't believe in triangles.
T-Money, I'm telling you, you're going to lose your proverbial shit when you look at that.
When I look at what?
Riemann's modding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
There are one dots, T. There are 1 dot.
Oh,
There
I
is
know.
there
I
are
watched
no-
the show.
there are no-
I watched
yeah.
the show.
There are no
Oh, yeah.
1 dot mods. Okay, let's be real here. Okay, there's no 1 dots. All right,
Yeah, 2 and 3 dots.
Actually, there are 1 dots, but
There are.
but they're not on characters. I save any speed arrow mods just in case for like crap characters at the bottom of my roster. So
All right. Let's round up so we can.
All
get
right,
to
we
some
have 2
cheese.
more questions.
Yep.
One is from Hellenic. He says, "How close to the RSG ACS campaign goal are we?"
We had another donation the other day. Let's see, we're 16.
Oh yeah, we got a $100 donation from Elton.
Yeah.
RIV. That's
yes,
awesome.
Very, very nice of that person. So we're like just like
We're currently at 16,261,
361.
and our goal is 17,500.
Are you sure it should be
So-
361?
Hold on, let me refresh. Yep, it is. It's 361.
Yeah.
So 16,362, and our goal is 17,500.
We're gonna crush it.
And if we can get it, and I said this before, and I'll stay true to it. If we can get to our goal of 17,500 by the end of the month, I will take my Rose Tico to Relic 7.
That's amazing.
There
Really
isn't.
close. It's a really that's something you're doing.
I already took it to Relic 5 because of the poll. So she is currently one of my 2 highest Relic characters. I have 3 Relic 5 characters. I have Malik, I have Grandmaster Yoda, and Rose Tico.
There you go.
well,
Those are-
Finn is going to be the most prepared for Galactic Legend Ray.
Watch her not even be used for it too. She had like no role in episode 9, so she's not. I don't think she's gonna be anywhere in there, but it would be nice if she was. I doubt it. But there you go. If we can get 17,500 by the end of the month, then I will Relic 7 Rose Tico.
There you go. All right, next final.
And the last question, it's a question for you, good old Maurice.
Oh,
And it's a question from a new user, Riemann Azab. And the question is, can you play the Star Wars theme song on your guitar?
Well, actually, this is what we call a mandolin.
oh,
Okay, this is the size-
Mandolin. A mandolin.
This is the size of my fingers.
So
There's
you're
a problem here.
Yes.
There's a reason why you don't see Warren Haynes on stage picking a mandolin. It's just I can play the first 3 frets of it, and then anything down from that is problematic for me. So no.
Serenade us with those 3.
He has
Come on, let's hear Ray's theme on the mandolin.
No, that's not fair.
Yeah, good on Maurice. Why don't you just hum
Why
it
don't you
for
just
us?
whip that out? You know?
If you don't want to play it on the guitar.
Correct response is he forgot he was on camera.
Yes, yes, I did actually. Sorry to let the new user down, but if you check with me on Discord, I will gladly provide you a list of other.
You want the name of the new user again, Girl Maurice, so you can message him?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Riemann Azab.
Zaba.
Yes.
Yeah. I made a request in the chat, Maurice, for you to play the guitar.
Your request got denied, sir.
Yes.
I would like to.
Have you never heard him though when you're like getting ready for streams and stuff?
Oh, I've heard him a little bit, yeah. But I mean, I would like to double down on that request, and I want it to happen live, and I want it to be amazing.
Well,
Okay.
next week I'll have my guitar there. I'm learning the mandolin. I don't want to embarrass
Here we
myself
go.
and everybody
Here we
else.
go. Good on Maurice. Why don't you do a benefit for the entire community and offer to play the guitar on stream while Ranger remods Ramon's roster?
That would be an amazing way to remod my roster. Would be with Maurice.
I like how you just applied peer pressure to everyone on the panel there at the same time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next question.
Well, that's it for questions. So now we're gonna allow everyone to pimp their stuff. So first, we'll start with you, Riemann. What are you up to? Where can folks check you out at? That kind of good stuff.
Well, I'm up to a little bit of everything, but I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night with a couple of you guys. We'll be on at around 11 o'clock, 11:15, and we'll discuss a lot of the things that we discussed here today. And then I'm also working on trying to. I was busy this week, but I want to see if me and Ranger could possibly jump on and do a like a spoiler stream for the Rise of Skywalker and the Mando, and we just kind of share our thoughts about it because I want to vent a little bit.
All right,
but that's about it.
All right. And you can check Good Old Maurice out there as well on Sunday nights with me and Riemann and Avinash. It's a fun time. T-Money and Good Old Maurice, Operation Metaverse changed your day to Thursdays. What else is going on over there in Operation Metaverse land?
It's Homeland, baby.
Homeland. I'm sorry.
Homeland.
I forgot how the kids are saying.
We are the homeland.
Yes.
Homeland. I don't know. I'm tired.
Yes,
I need to go to bed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to get that sleepy.
I thought Ramon was just smoking a spliff on the air. I was like, what? What's going on?
He can do whatever he wants. It's his world. He can do whatever he wants.
That would be amazing if I just lit up a spliff like that. I gotta just start puffing on a joint.
Puffing on a doobie.
Guys don't care, bro.
like right at the end of the stream too. You know, just light one up. Like,
see guys. Gom, you want to go or you want me to go? You go.
Okay. Where am I going? Oh, pimping our stuff.
Yeah,
we did move our traditional night of Tuesday to Thursday. 10 p.m. guys is the stream. So we have been streaming. There hasn't been really too much news to talk about lately, but next week hopefully we have some new content to really discuss, at least speculate on, maybe an announcement or two. They did say in the Q&A that we're getting more information soon for the Galactic Heroes, so hopefully we can further speculate on that. As always, we do videos, not as many lately as we should be, but we have a couple on the docket coming out. We do Patreon workshops, we do remodding, all sorts of things over at Operation Metaverse. You can just check us out in the Discord. All the information you possibly need is there. We also have a website that you can visit to get further information about what we do and who we are and how I cannot play the mandolin.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a whole section of him not playing the mandolin.
There you go. All right, with that, you're watching this on RSG. We do this every Saturday morning for 2 hours, and you can check that out. We have other content on RSG. We have the lunch stream we do every day. We have the Wednesday night stream. We have other streams that you guys can check out as well. We stream a lot, and we do a lot of GAC. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be flipping over. Anybody on the panel that wants to hang out can. We're going to go do our final 3v3 battle. I've already hit Cabber. It doesn't matter. This is just for fun. And we're facing an RSG fan, Gavin Mothma. He's actually trying to record the battles and stuff and give me links to YouTube. So we're going to switch over and get that going. So I have to set up the event. But it's going to be like 5-10 minutes from now. So if you guys want to check out the fun GAC, it's always a blast. And hopefully I'll have some footage of him attacking my teams. He's trying to record that so we can go back and forth. I can attack, he can attack, that kind of thing. So it'll be fun. So we're going to do that here in a few minutes. So get ready for that. What the hell? You know what? I'm going to ignore Finn. So with that, we're going to call this one done. So make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you check out these other folks and really support them and what they're doing. Operation Metaverse, Riemann, and everybody here. They take the time out of their busy schedule to be here and to answer your questions.
They have sacrificed their breakfast.
Shut up, Finn. I'm pimping stuff. But make sure you check out their content and support them, guys, and show your love for them being here and take your time out of their busy schedules to be with you, be here for you guys. So, check out Operation Metaverse and the rest. So, with that, we're gonna call this one done. So, on behalf of myself and the panel, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in a few minutes for 3v3 and GAC. If not, we'll see you whenever we're back on live streaming. So, have a great rest of your day, and we'll holler at you later. Peace out.
Bye, people.
I hate you.
So do
Get a
I.
new toy.